The K-pop world was shaken once again, and this time, all eyes were on one final moment in Tampa. As the concert was coming to an end, thousands of fans weren't ready to leave. The stadium lights were still glowing, ARMY chants echoed through the arena, and BTS stood on stage taking in the last unforgettable seconds of the night. No one wanted it to end. Fans were holding their light sticks high in the air, waving them like stars across the stadium. Some were crying. Some were screaming the members' names. Others simply stood frozen, trying to memorize every second before the night disappeared forever. Because everyone knew, once the lights turned off, this magical night would become just a memory. But in the middle of that emotional atmosphere, two people stole everyone's attention: Taehyung and Jungkook. Yes, the final Tampa moment quickly became one of the most talked about emotional scenes fans had ever witnessed. Many said it didn't feel like a normal interaction, it felt like a message straight from the heart. As the music softened and the members began saying goodbye, the giant screen suddenly showed Jungkook slowly walking toward Taehyung. And immediately, the screams began. Something about Jungkook felt different that night. Usually, he was energetic, playful, running across the stage nonstop. He would joke with members, jump around, and make the crowd laugh. But this time, his steps were calm. His expression was soft, like there was something he needed to say before the night truly ended. Taehyung, standing near the side of the stage, turned and looked at him. And the second their eyes met, the entire stadium exploded. ARMY instantly knew something was happening. Jungkook didn't say a word. He simply gave a small smile, then slowly lifted his hand toward Taehyung. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It was subtle, but somehow it felt powerful. Taehyung answered with a warm smile rarely seen in moments like that. A smile that looked natural, gentle, and full of emotion. It lasted only seconds. Just seconds. But it was enough to send the crowd into chaos. Because right after that, Taehyung did something that made the moment even more emotional. He gently tapped his chest, then pointed toward Jungkook. A simple gesture. No words. No sound. Yet fans immediately felt the meaning. Many believed it was his way of saying, "You're always here." And from that moment on, the internet exploded. Clips of the interaction spread across social media within minutes. Fans around the world reposted it while crying, screaming, and trying to process what they had just seen. Comments flooded every platform. "I can't handle the way they looked at each other. That was not a normal stare. They spoke without saying anything. Why does Tampa always get legendary moments? This is going to live in history forever." And honestly, that night really did feel different. Because throughout the concert, Taehyung and Jungkook's chemistry had already been impossible to ignore. From the opening songs, they were seen standing close several times. During choreography, they glanced at each other with smiles. Between songs, Taehyung was caught quietly watching Jungkook more than once. Fans noticed everything. Every small movement felt meaningful. Every glance lasted longer than expected. Every smile felt deeper. Even when they were far apart on stage, people noticed how often their attention returned to each other. At one point, Jungkook was speaking to fans near the front row, but suddenly turned around and laughed after seeing Taehyung behind him. Another moment showed Taehyung smiling while Jungkook danced wildly beside him. It was the kind of chemistry you can't fake. Natural, comfortable, effortless. But the biggest moment was still the ending. As the members waved goodbye to the crowd, Jungkook suddenly walked back toward Taehyung one more time. He stood right beside him, not somewhere else, not far away, right next to him in the final seconds of the show. Taehyung turned and laughed shyly, almost like he was embarrassed by what had just happened. Jungkook looked down and smiled. And once again, the stadium lost its mind, because fans felt they were watching something genuine, not staged, not fan service, not scripted. Just two people who had built years of comfort, trust, and connection. That's why so many became emotional that night. Because after following BTS for years, seeing two people who grew up together share that kind of silent understanding in front of the world hit differently. It reminded fans of how long their journey has been. From trainees with dreams to global superstars standing under stadium lights. From teenagers learning everything together to grown men who still understand each other without speaking. That kind of bond is rare. And when fans witnessed it live in Tampa, many couldn't hold back their emotions. Some even said they cried on the way home, not because the concert ended, but because that tiny moment felt bigger than words. Outside the venue, people were still talking about Taehyung and Jungkook. In cars, at hotels, at airports, online, their names kept trending everywhere. Fans replayed the clips over and over again, zooming in on every expression, every smile, every tiny movement. Some analyzed body language. Some made edits with emotional music. Some simply wrote, "I'll never recover from this." And Tampa once again became the city remembered for one unforgettable chapter in BTS history. What made it even stronger was this. There was no explanation, no statement, no words at all, just two people using body language that touched millions. Maybe that's why this moment became so powerful, because sometimes the deepest feelings don't need to be explained. Sometimes a look is enough. Sometimes a smile says everything. Sometimes standing beside someone in the final seconds means more than the biggest speech ever could. Sometimes one small gesture in front of thousands says more than words ever can. Taehyung and Jungkook once again proved that real connection doesn't always need words. And Tampa became the place where two hearts seemed to speak silently on the BTS stage. Years from now, fans may forget certain songs from the setlist. They may forget what time the concert started. They may forget what they wore that night. But they will never forget that final moment. The look, the smile, the chest tap, the silent closeness, the feeling in the air that something meaningful had just happened. That is why fans are still talking about it now. Because some moments are entertaining, and some moments become legendary. This one became legendary. Now the question is for you. Was it simply deep friendship? Or was it an emotional love signal in the final Tampa moment? Comment your thoughts below. And if you want more unforgettable Taekook moments, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because their story might be far from over. Loudly crying face. Wishing all of us good health always. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. This video was made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.